Thank you guys so much for 18,000 subscribers. That's so unbelievable to me. I made a post recently where I talked about how even when one person subscribes, I still get excited about that, so 18,000 just completely blows my mind. Hello everyone, my name is AndrewAJT, and we are back with another PKing video. In the previous PKing video, I tested out the new buffed Entangle spell, which was really effective, but there's a couple other things I want to try with it, and also some similar changes I want to test out. So one of them is the Fire Surge spell. This has always been a very powerful spell. Let's see how high we can hit with it. Boom, 42. But because Entangle was so weak, it was basically almost a dead spell for solo PKing because you had no way to really freeze your opponents. But now with Entangle, you have a very good way to do that. And there's something else that people don't really talk about. There was a big change recently with the Snare spell. So now you can actually use this in free-to-play. Previously, you could only use Bind in free-to-play, and it also has been buffed. It no longer is halved with Mage, and you can use TB now in free-to-play. So I might try out some free-to-play PKing and get a little bit nostalgic here to see if we can do some deep wilderness free-to-play PKing. Now, we will be risking a lot here because if I get smited and die, which has happened before, we lose 14 mil, and if I protect item, we still lose 1.3 mil because of the Tome of Fire, which is what powers the Fire Surge. Alright, no Callisto on this world, so let's take a look. Running the no potions strategy here. There he is. Can we double up here? Yep, we got it. What is that? The emoji over his head? I was confused. It's a rune light thing. Banned for using third-party clients. Unapproved feature. Hit him with the Tribrid, all three forms of combat. He thinks I'm going to mage, so I'm going to melee here. Wrong choice. No helmet, I like the old school look. Let's quickly slap on a... We're going to melee him? Nope. Fire Surge. He's got no mage defense, so if there's ever a chance for me to mage him, we got to mage him. Even if it's kind of guessing. A little early. Still? Okay. Except for right now. Almost one kill, but you got that big chain mace there. He's gonna think I'm gonna... yeah, but he was late. I just splashed. Okay, there's the hit, and there is the freeze. Good choice there. Just keep him off balance. I'm not maging as much as I'd like, but he's using the Prey Mage more than probably should be. Get that freeze in. I'm doing okay here. I gotta be giving myself some credit for not being comfortable with this spell. Can we get this KO here? Don't give him time to switch prayers. Just gonna run out of this. Boom. Got him. That was a pretty good kill. I didn't make too many mistakes, which is first for me. Gonna be careful with Venenatus there. Hope you guys enjoyed that live commentary. I know it's not perfect, but I'm a little bit rusty on PKing and talking at the same time. I actually used to be pretty good at it, so if you guys enjoyed it, let me know and I'll do more in the future, and I'm sure I can get a little better at it. This was a really good PK as far as loot goes. He said, oh, you know, I didn't do a kill or anything, but he will have that Revenant Ether on him, and as you see there, 400k. Very excellent loot. So as promised, I wanted to try some free-to-play PKing, and this is the gear that I used. It's pretty much the best gear you can bring. You can bring an amulet switch, but it's a bit excessive. I found that it's better to access the free-to-play worlds using the members portals, so it just saves you a bit of time. Something very funny happened when I was doing this, so I actually was still on a members world, and I found someone doing Mage Arena 2, and the problem is I'm still in free-to-play gear, so it's pretty unlikely I'm going to be able to PK this guy, but I figure I'm going to at least try. And there are so many disadvantages I have here in free-to-play gear. I get a bit of a boost by the boss helping me out, but keep in mind my best weapon is a Rune Scimitar, which has similar stats to a DDS without the special. The only potion I have access to is the Strength potion, the normal one, so that's pretty useless. I have no prayer potions, I have no stamina potions. You saw my mage bonus was around plus 20 or something, so it's hardly even worth using the fire blast spells because they're not going to hit very high, and they're just not going to hit at all on his mystic, so I might as well stick with the Rune Scimitar. He doesn't have very good melee defense. He doesn't realize I have TB, so he didn't really take this seriously until he was TB'd, and I just have to hope that I'm not going to splash these Entangles. I'm actually going to do a couple staff bash hits just to make sure that I'm staying close to him. Let's give him some Rune 2H, boom, 23. That is the most powerful weapon on free-to-play, so I might as well take advantage of it, although it's very slow. Ideally, on free-to-play, you would do some sort of old-school last man standing pray flicking where you're using all these different sorts of prayers without even using prayer at all. I wasn't really prepared to do that, so I'm just flicking piety or smite. Having 99 prayer, which I talked about in the previous video, is very helpful here because it's almost like having 70 prayer, but with a prayer potion dose. Just having that extra prayer on you can be very helpful. I didn't think it would ever happen in this situation where I'm going to need it, but it actually did come into play. I was able to use Smite and Piety here and still have a lot of prayer left. So I have to keep up with the Entangles. I know I complained about Entangle in previous videos where it seems like you can get more distance off of splashed ones. I think I've mitigated that a little bit just by staying closer to the opponent, if that makes any sense. There's always a way to time it where you want to click to attack them just to keep pace with them and to not lose too much ground. But if I had splashed that last one, it would have been a disaster. I burst out laughing when I got this PK. So funny. Did not expect this to happen. This would almost be a fun challenge to try in the future, trying to get members PKs in free-to-play gear. Very funny to try and definitely something I'm not used to doing. So that was cool and all, but you guys want to see an actual free-to-play PK, so I'm going to deliver that to you. My friend was doing some PKing by the Rune Rocks, and apparently he found someone, so I'm running as fast as I can to try to get here. And sure enough, he is on his last legs against this very powerful PKer in Guthix Rune armor. So even though it's single combat here, I gotta tag this guy off and try to give my friend a chance to escape. And this guy looks like he's going to be very tough to take down. In the gear that I'm in, it's more suited for Rune Rock people who aren't going to fight back. But if this guy wants to start shooting me with that bow, there's very little I'll be able to do other than freeze him and log out under him, because that bow is definitely the most powerful thing in free-to-play. It's faster than the Rune Scimitar, it deals more damage per second overall, and you can use it in full rune, which makes it even more powerful. The accuracy is not a big deal when I'm in wizard robes. Surprisingly, this guy does not really turn back to fight me, even though he seems to be really running out of food. One final snare there just to halt his advance and keep him in multi, and he really seems to be almost out of food, so I'm not sure why he was taking such a big risk here. This other dude shows up in full Addy gold and wants to get in on the PK as well, but because I've done so much damage, I don't really have to worry about that. I should be able to secure this PK. There's no need to freeze him anymore because there's really nowhere for him to go, so just stay on him with the Rune Scimitar, and eventually he falls. Let's see what we get. Oh my god, a full inventory of Runic Ore, and I have to loot this pretty quickly because there is no looting bag here, so I kind of have to get rid of all of my food in 46 Wild to make sure I get as much ore as possible, which can be kind of scary. Eventually some other PKers do show up, but luckily I was able to get almost all of the Runic Ore and change worlds safely. Here's the loot about 250k, which in free-to-play is the equivalent of almost like 10 mil. Very nice PK. Reminds me of back in the day when I used to do free-to-play PKing, and I basically used to just go into the wilderness in full rune and lose it, and I would have to spend like 3 weeks trying to fish lobsters, trying to make it all back, but it was all worth it for the fun. Here's the Snare logout thing I mentioned earlier. So Snare freezes for 10 seconds, and you have to be out of combat for around 10 seconds to log out. So if you're literally tick perfect with the Snare, you can just barely get a logout here. around the tree, so I really have to spam click log out here just to make sure. She's going to be able to move very shortly, but I was able to get it. One place that's really fun to PK if you can find someone is this little dungeon in the wilderness near the Mage Bank. It's usually pretty empty, but you can find people doing Fire Giants tasks occasionally, and there's lots of incentives to PK these people. There's also a new little area to this dungeon where you can get Zammy wines, but I haven't really been able to find someone collecting them. The main challenge of this area is that it's all single combat, which is kind of a blessing and a curse. If a team shows up, I might be able to escape, but because it's single, I have to deal with all the monsters, and this person is going to try a little okie doke here going up and down the stairs. She's going to go up when I go down, but I'm not going to panic. I should be able to get her with the Entangle, especially because it does have that 10 square range, as with most magic spells, and now we can kind of lay on the Fire Surge and finish the PK. She does fight back with the Blowpipe, which is a very good idea, but unfortunately it's probably going to be too little too late. I really did enjoy using the Fire Surge, and I do want to show you guys more of it in the future, because it is very powerful. So it looks like there's going to be no loot, but wait a minute. Look at those Laren's keys. Those are the new things for the chests in the wilderness you can get from Wilderness Slayers. So let's see if those keys will actually cash in anything. So if you go all the way in 55 Wild to this ghost ship, you can use these keys on this chest, and this is a pretty cool update. You can get some decent loot from this overall. So there's 151k, just what we need more GP in the game, and 3 rune plate legs. So pretty cool little extra incentive for PKing people in the wilderness. You never know what keys they might have. So one thing to talk about before we go is that at RuneFest, Jagex announced that they are going to improve the clan chat system in 2020, which is really cool. And they also announced that they want to invite clan chat leaders to Jagex to learn from them and help make suggestions. And I think I would literally be perfect for this. I've ran the AndrewAJT 62 clan chat since 2010, which is open to the public, and I have a lot of experience running the clan, obviously. And I think I would be a perfect person for this, so I did submit the little application here, but I don't know if you guys might have any ideas for a campaign we could do or something to get me to Jagex. I would certainly record as much as I can and do a little IRL vlog. Maybe we could do some sort of Twitter campaign or something. Who knows? If you guys have any ideas, let me know. But if not, I think I did make a pretty good case for it in the survey. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed that. It really helps out the channel with the YouTube algorithm. Let me know if you guys want to see some more Fire Surge PKing. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. You can also hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Typically this is every Tuesday. You can also follow me on Twitter down below, and I'll follow you back if you play RS. You can join the clan chat if you need one to join, and you can join our clan Discord down below. We have over 800 members there now. Thank you so much to our video sponsor, Dr. Dread. He's our Patreon sponsor. He's been supporting the channel for years, so thank you so much for that. If you want, you can check out my Patreon page in the end screen. But thank you guys all so much for 18,000 subscribers again. So unbelievable. Let's make our way to 20,000. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next week.